Alright, y'all, this is Corvus. Welcome back to Amy's story. This is episode 3. So if you're just now clicking, you can go find episodes 1 and 2 on my channel. There should actually be a card somewhere. Now that I think about it, that actually might be at the end of everything. Anyway, yeah, so if you want to get the full context of everything that we've gone through so far, I recommend pausing this, going and watching the first 2, and coming back. Because there's only 4 chapters left, and if I just did the last chapter, or even the last 2, both these videos would be super short. So I think I'm just gonna knock out these last 4 chapters of Amy's story here on the final episode, episode 3. Without further ado, let's get right into it. The year is 1590 AD. This is Amy's story, chapter 6, A Fleeting Wish. It had been many days since Raphael left on his journey. While Amy waited restlessly, pardon my dyslexia, for his return, she reflected upon what she should ask of him. She struggles to find her buried emotions, equipped only with a faint light and an eternal roadmap featuring new guidelines. Okay. Maybe that faint light is hope. Which is interesting because of her whole idea of hope. But maybe that's just Amy being a child and trying to distance herself from the world and trying to put up her walls and just harden herself. So if something does happen to where it would break her heart, she could try her best to just kind of brush it off as, yeah, that's kind of, yeah, it would suck if I cared, but I don't. So, yeah, that kind of thing. And as for the question, well, in our last, in the last episode, we ended on chapter 6, or chapter 5, my bad. As we just finished chapter 5, Amy and Raphael, if I remember correctly, had just concluded a sparring match. We actually got to fight Raphael in that bout, in that chapter. We learned a lot about their characters just from that fight. You should really go check out episode 2 if you haven't. There's so much character development in this game regarding those 2 specifically. And SoulCalibur really flourishes when it's when it comes to its combat, when it comes to character development through combat and characterization through movesets and personalities and just how they move and how the characters handle their weapons. Yeah, like, for example, Amy and Raphael. They both use rapiers and they both use branches of the same swordplay style. I believe it's the rapier de swordplay style that both Raphael and Amy use. and yet they differ from each other so much that they might as well be using two different styles. Right. They both have their own little spins on it. But yeah, I'm going on a tangent. I digress. I didn't say this in the video, at least I don't think I did. But I think at first I theorized the question because I couldn't remember. It's been so long since I've gone through Amy's story, and I've only done it once. Yeah, it was actually the Thanksgiving of the pandemic that I first went through the story, so it was a long fucking time ago. All the way back in late 2020. Yeah, so there's that. But yeah, I theorized her question. I thought she already was going to have her question, like, ready. I thought she had her question. Because I thought the question would be to just kind of... Admittedly, it's not something that was very realistic or in line with her character at all. But at the same time, based off of her sort of mannerisms, like... Amy telling Raphael she doesn't really care where we are. And that she's happy with the way things are. I thought it was going to be something along the lines of take me with you or stay, that kind of thing. So I was thinking that she was just going to wait for him to come home and be like, alright, now that you're back and now that you've done what you needed to do, what was so important for you to leave me in the first place, don't ever do that shit again, right? But here, we learn that that might not actually be what she wants. Or what she thinks she wants, at least. She's still going through everything. That may have been the first... That may have been at one point what her wish was, but she's thinking about it now, and she's, you know... She's actually taking the time to consider what she really wants. But yeah, let's, enough with the foreplay, let's get into it.
Checkmate.
Oh, a stunning victory, milady. Despite a number of blunders, a solid strategy saw you through. Still, it is unusual for you to take so long to make your moves.
Malus, have you ever held back against me?
If I may be frank, yes. On several occasions, but all long ago.
Oh, that's fine then.
You have a habit of bottling up your feelings, milady. You may find that voicing your thoughts will lessen their burden. If it is the young master you are worried about, I've no doubt he will return safely. Perhaps he has gone to fetch the perpetually delayed old master. Now, it is late. I must prepare your bed. While I do, perhaps you would like to step outside and commune with the cool night breeze.
Ever since that day, it feels like my emotions are somewhere else. Voicing my thoughts will lessen their burden? I don't know. I hurt. Raphael, don't leave me. What? Is that what I truly feel? My wish, the thing I want from him. I was lying to myself. this feeling. This time they left a trail, on purpose, as if inviting me to follow. Is that a light in the library?
Okay. So, yes and no, looks like. Maybe when Raphael first posed the idea to her that she could ask him of whatever she wanted, like her gut reaction was something she couldn't exactly put to words, or she didn't quite understand, so maybe she was reflecting on what that meant, instead of that being her immediate go-to and it's like, oh wait, never mind, I don't think I want this. Which, if that's the case, that's still pretty cool. Although I was lying to myself. That line made me think that I was right initially. And she's like, yeah, I don't think this is what I really want. But then when she clears her mind of everything else and she takes Melis's advice to just voice her thoughts, the most raw, the most real and solid one, and that she truly desires, pops out. Raphael, don't leave me. That's what her heart was telling her. At least that's how I interpreted that. If that is the case, I think I was right initially. Because, yeah, I think she initially knew that that's what she wanted, but she started to doubt herself because of everything in her past. She's like, wait, do I really want to rely this much on someone else? He's not even my real father, you know, this, that, the other. But as she thinks about it more, she just kind of lets it out. She's like, yeah, I think this is what I actually do want. Yeah, there's something I do remember very vividly about this, and the end will kind of showcase it, not to spoil anything. And I'll talk about it at the end. I think it's really very cool. So, yeah. 1590, 80, you know, same year. An Omen of Loss. How did the wind carry her... How far did the wind carry her words as it blew across the twilight sky? A violet light. They're not slick. I'll explain that later. Because I know not everyone is a diehard SoulCalibur, like, lore person. They don't... Most people don't really care about the lore of SoulCalibur. For example, fun fact. At one point, Amy and Raphael were vampires in everything but name. Yeah. That's a whole converging of timelines kind of thing. That's a whole... Yeah, SoulCalibur is like a multiverse, which is pretty dope. Yeah. A violent light twinkled in the distance, as if to illuminate the crackle in a heart ready to crumble. Oh, to illuminate the cracks in a heart ready to crumble. That dangerous flicker beckoned to a lost butterfly.
I know you're there.
It has been ages, young Amy. Although, I'm not sure you even remember me. I am the scholar of the future, and your dear Raffi is my comrade.
As well. Why are you here?
Ha! What a wonderful memory. With that mind, you can surely guess why I came. I'm here to recover the items I sent to Lord Dumas. Nothing more. Now that my comrade Raphael has left the nest, there is no longer need for them here.
I hear pain makes people talk.
I hardly recognize you from the girl I met so long ago. Bravo! Marvelous! Fantastico! You know, I maintained a small interest in you. Not only are you the source of my dear Raphael's desperate drive, but I hear intriguing rumors about you.
Their eyes are glowing red.
Now, young Amy, show me what it is that keeps your feet rooted in this place.
What is it with all the genius, eccentric characters always being diddlers? Hisoka, Orochimaru, this motherfucker. Ridiculous. Alright. Yeah, I think that's what Amy and Raphael were called when they were quote-unquote vampires. I guess not quote-unquote, when they were basically vampires. I think they were malfested.
Enjoy. On guard.
Oh man, I cannot wait until I get a fucking PS5. I recently got a Series S not too long ago, and the fact that I have to switch from
On guard.
like I have no more load screens basically on when I play Xbox. So switching from like the games I play on there to PS4, I'm so impatient now. I'm like, just come on, let's go. It does give me a chance to talk to you guys though, which is pretty cool.
With ferocity. It's almost like their movements are not hard to predict if I think of them as beasts. But are they? Time for bed. Sleep eternally. They'd be on the ground by now if they were normal.
Oh, fuck me. I'm about to get my ass handed to me.
They can't be human.
Oh, thank God.
What
Holy
are
shit.
they?
Roar.
And that's the last one.
I used some of the better filth at my disposal, and yet you bested them with ease.
Well, I don't know about that.
I had heard your intuition was sharp, but that does you an injustice. It is almost as if you can predict the future. I believe you will make an excellent match.
What are you scheming? What lunacy did you fill Raphael's head with?
Very well. You've passed my test. As a reward, I shall spill the little secret Comrade Raphael and I share.
there's a lot more reiteration of what I've said in previous episodes. That, yeah, even though I'm not, clearly, as you just saw, I'm not what most people would call good at this game. But you can even see it through her gameplay, that Amy has a very meticulous kind of thing. Like, she's a reactive combatant. Like, in a lot of other fighting games, she would be a counter character. Someone that you would wait, someone that you would kind of just have stand around. You'd wait until the enemy attacks, then you'd counter. And then, while the enemy's lacking, you would, you'd pummel them, right? Just counters on top of counters. That kind of thing. And she's the type of person to where if you're not countering, you are setting your opponent up to be exactly where you want them. Like, to her, a fight is really a dance in which she must always maintain the lead. She's always leading her opponent around. Which I think is really fucking cool. Especially in contrast to Raphael. Not just in contrast to Raphael's fighting style, but in contrast to her own sort of personality. Like, she has... if Patrick watches this, if my brother watches this, he's gonna have a field day with what I'm about to say. If you know, you know. But she has a personality that is super easy to manipulate and to kind of mold. Right? She could very well, like, as intelligent and as independent as she is, that is itself what makes her so easy to lead around and to mold and to manipulate. Because if you're something like as well, for example, or something that sort of like how Sasuke is a pretty popular character. Most people know Sasuke Uchiha when I say Sasuke. A lot of people like to say Sasuke is a very easy to manipulate, and because of that reason, he's a pretty stupid character. Someone who's far inferior to the likes of like Itachi or even Sakura, for example. Let alone Kakashi, Shikamaru, whatever. The reason he's very easy to manipulate is the same reason Amy is. And it's because they're both too good at what they do for their own good. So it's something where if you can be better than them at what they do, well, then they're automatically going to see you as a credible source or as someone worthy of their trust and or admiration. Sasuke had a huge habit of this. Although he was never truly, really manipulated. But that's a whole tangent for a different day, different video. And honestly, Spad Kage has done a much better video dissecting Sasuke's character and why he did the shit he did. But anyway, point is, Amy Amy's fighting style and how she leads people around is very interesting when you look at her mental state and her personality, like who she is as a person. She is very much wrapped around Raphael's finger. And even though she doesn't want to be, she's wrapped around Asma's finger too. And even her attendant, or her maid, Malis. As intelligent as she is, or as intelligent and skilled as she thinks she is, you know, being praised to, oh, it's almost like you can see the future. There's this idea that even if someone is a genius or is super fucking talented and super skilled, that you shouldn't lean into that and foster that and build that up. At least within reason, because it breeds arrogance. It breeds, yeah, I am hot shit. I am better than those around me. And it's not detrimental just because, it is detrimental because of this too. It's not just detrimental because of the fact that that can make you a really bad person. Like, you could be a dick, right? The whole narcissist, fucking sociopath and genius trope, that kind of thing. But it also makes you vulnerable, careless. You're like, I got this. I can handle this. In situations where you really fucking can't, and you do need help, and you should go and rethink your strategy, go and regroup. Which, mild spoiler alert, is exactly what happens, and Amy does not do that. Which proves my point perfectly. Oh, I guess it's gonna be 5, huh? Well, I just realized I can't do math. I'm hungry. I guess that's where I'm going to end it. Yeah, I'm super excited to finish this with you guys. So, stay tuned for episode 4. Amy's story, the final episode, where we will be covering Amy's story chapters 8 through 10. The final 3, if you will. Yeah, I've been Corvus. You've been whoever the hell you are. And I'm so excited to see you guys next time.